At her own celebration party, a man had his assistant drug a woman's drink. This woman was Zhixia, a brilliant researcher who had just developed a new anti-cancer drug. The man was Fu Tingzhou, the CEO she had been in love with for 5 years. What she didn't know was that he wanted her out of the way. It turned out his ex-girlfriend had just come back, and he didn't want Zhixia to get in the way of them getting back together. After drinking the drugged wine, Zhixia collapsed immediately. The next thing she knew, she was waking up in a hospital bed. His sister Tingya was there and told her that she had suffered a severe allergic reaction and almost died. But Zhixia couldn't remember anything, not even the man she had loved for years. Tingya was furious, accusing her of faking amnesia just to get her brother's attention. To prove her point, she told her the whole story. For 5 years, Zhixia had chased after Tingzhou relentlessly. But he only had eyes for his ex-girlfriend, Guanye. Everyone knew Zhixia as his loyal simp. Horrified, Zhixia checked her phone. The endless messages and photos confirmed it all. She had proposed to him 99 times and got rejected every single time. She was so ashamed that she decided to move on for good. She deleted every photo and message related to him and called her parents, telling them she was finally coming home. She confessed that she had forgotten him and would never like him again. But just as she said those words, Fu Tingzhou himself walked into the room. He had overheard everything. He sneered, calling it her most elaborate trick yet. Just then, his ex-girlfriend, Wanyu, walked in. Tingzhou's cold attitude instantly vanished. He gently placed his jacket over Wanyu's shoulders and told her that Zhixia was just an employee. When a nurse called Zhixia for a checkup, she left without a second glance. As she walked away, Tingzhou watched her, completely bewildered. The woman was violently choked by the man she once loved. He roared with his eyes full of rage, accusing her of pushing Wanyu down the stairs and trying to kill her. It had all started just moments before. His ex-girlfriend, Wanyu, walked up to Zhixia, making fun of her for being the simp who chased Tingzhou for 5 years. But Zhixia, who now had no memory of him, calmly replied that Wanyu was his one and only, and other women didn't matter. Her cool brush-off made Wanyu furious. Just as Tingzhou was arriving, Wanyu threw herself down the stairs on purpose, making it look like Zhixia had pushed her. Tingzhou rushed to Wanyu's side and attacked Zhixia without a second of hesitation. He refused to listen to her pleas of innocence, his mind poisoned by what he thought he saw. He snarled that Wanyu was his bottom line and warned that if Zhixia ever touched her again, he wouldn't show any mercy. He then scooped up the crying Wanyu and carried her away, leaving Zhixia completely abandoned. But his cruelty didn't end there. As a heartbroken Zhixia walked away, a man ambushed her from behind, violently throwing her down the stairs. It was Tingzhou's assistant, acting on his boss's orders. Lying there bloody and broken, Zhixia realized the man she once adored had tried to have her killed. She woke up in the hospital to find Tingya by her side. As Tingya comforted her, she confessed that despite everything, she believed her brother secretly had feelings for Zhixia. Little did they know, Tingzhou was standing right outside the door and heard every word. Later, when Wanyu blamed Zhixia for the fall, Tingzhou found himself defending her, insisting that Zhixia wasn't that kind of person. To celebrate her recovery, Tingya threw a party, but their friends invited Tingzhou and Wanyu. They flaunted their relationship, even sharing a drink intimately right in front of Zhixia. But she didn't seem to care, calmly playing a drinking game with her friends. Tingya screamed at her brother that he would regret this, but he didn't even look back, leaving with his ex-girlfriend on his arm. The confrontation had started during a party game where Zhixia lost and had to reveal her most unforgettable feeling. With a sad smile, she confessed to having a 5-year unrequited crush on her best friend's brother. She described it like a moth to a flame, explaining how she filled her phone with his photos and wrote countless love letters she never sent. She never said his name, but everyone knew she was talking about Tingzhou. He had overheard her entire confession, but instead of being moved, he was convinced it was just another desperate trick to get attention. When his ex-girlfriend, Wanyu, complained about Zhixia's delusion, he told his sister that his heart only had room for Wanyu and that Zhixia was nothing to him. With those words, he walked out. That was the last straw. The next day, Zhixia walked into her office and handed in her resignation. She explained that she had given up a chance to study abroad for Tingzhou. But now that her memory and feelings were gone, she was ready to chase her own dreams. Her colleagues were stunned but knew she was the clear favorite to win the prestigious Lasker Award for her groundbreaking anti-cancer drug. But at the press conference, the ultimate betrayal unfolded. Tingzhou took the stage and gave a moving speech about a beautiful woman who stood by the company in its darkest hours. For a moment, Zhixia and her colleagues thought he was finally giving her credit. But then he announced the winner of the award was Wanyu. As Wanyu took the stage to accept credit for work she never did, a devastated Zhixia confronted Tingzhou. He publicly humiliated her, saying that her low level of education made her unworthy. He announced that the brilliant Wang Ye, with her international PhD, was far more capable and would be taking over as the director of the research team. As reporters swarmed Wang Yue, an assistant handed Zhixia her approved resignation letter. Her colleagues were outraged, but Zhixia was calm. It was already over. She told them she had resigned and wished them well, walking away with her head held high. A woman in a black dress viciously confronted Zhixia, accusing her of clinging to a man who would never love her. Zhixia had come to her best friend Tingya's birthday party, only to find the man she loved, Tingzhou, being intimate with another woman, Gu Wenye. When Zhixia went to a private room to be alone, Wang Yue followed her. Wang Yue insulted Zhixia and her best friend, claiming Tingzhou only put up with Zhixia out of pity. Furious, Zhixia slapped her, but Wang Yue fought back, smashing a vase and cutting Zhixia's arm with a piece of the broken glass. Just then, Tingzhou stormed in. Seeing Wang Yue on the floor, he immediately blamed Zhixia, screaming that she had a terrible temper. He helped Wang Yue up, completely ignoring Zhixia's injury. He furiously demanded that Zhixia apologize, but just as he was trying to force her to apologize, Tingya ran in. She defended Zhixia and told her brother the room had a security camera that would prove everything. Panicked, Wang Yue faked a twisted ankle to create a distraction. Without hesitation, Tingzhou scooped her into his arms and carried her to the hospital, promising he would check the footage later and make Zhixia apologize. Heartbroken by his betrayal, Zhixia told Tingya the real reason she came that night was to say goodbye. Her family had arranged a marriage for her, and she was leaving on a plane right away. At the airport, she said her final goodbye to her true friend. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Tingzhou got a frantic call from his sister telling him Zhixia was gone for good. The truth hit him and he sprinted out, leaving Wang Yue behind. But it was too late. Years later, Zhixia came back and was greeted by her parents. But she was a different woman. She told them she had lost all memory of Tingzhou and had come back to finish her groundbreaking cancer research, a project that would make her a direct competitor of his. Just then, her mother told her that the man she was engaged to had been waiting for her for 5 years and had come to see her. A handsome man in a suit showed up holding a bouquet of flowers. 3 days after the woman he drove away left the country, the man was already out shopping with his new girlfriend. But when an employee accidentally bumped into her, she exploded with rage, viciously slapping the lipstick out of the employee's hand. She screamed that her skirt was priceless and that the girl could never afford to replace it, even if she sold herself. But what she didn't know was that her cruel outburst was making the man see her true colors. He found himself remembering the woman he lost, Zhixia. He remembered how she had once been in the exact same situation, when an employee accidentally spilled coffee on her new dress. Instead of getting angry, Zhixia had only shown kindness, reassuring the terrified girl that it was just an accident and a simple wash would fix it. The stark contrast between the two women shocked him. Earlier that day, he had been trying to bury himself in work, even forgetting that Zhixia had resigned, and was confused when she wasn't there to give a report on the crucial cancer research project. When he went to Wang Ye, who had taken her place, he found her lounging on the couch, watching videos on her phone. She had arrogantly dismissed Zhixia's work, claiming she was the real expert. To make her happy, he had taken her on this shopping spree, even buying her a global limited edition handbag. Later, a business emergency called him back to the office, and Wang Yue threw a tantrum, accusing him of not loving her. He left anyway. Furious, she threw the new clothes on the floor and stomped on them. Back at the office, he felt a pang of guilt for leaving her. But when he walked into her office to apologize, he saw a shocking sight. Wang Yu was screaming at an employee, ripping up the team's research proposal and throwing the shredded paper in her face, calling it garbage. As Wang Ye yelled at and fired his entire research team, he suddenly barged in. It turned out that Wang Ye had stolen Zhixia's groundbreaking research proposal and presented it as her own. Believing she was a genius, he excitedly hugged her, not realizing he was praising the work of the woman he had abandoned. With the project seemingly secure, Wang Yu's arrogance grew. She humiliated them, rejected their work, and in the end fired them all on the spot, just as Tingzhou walked in. He was shocked to find his best employees quitting in protest. That's when Wang Yue, desperate to save face, presented him with the stolen proposal, claiming it was her own. As Tingzhou looked at the research on cancer dispersion and inhibition, he was struck by a strong sense of familiarity. At the most important medical exhibition of the year, Zhixia was publicly called a plagiarist. The accusation came just moments after she ran into her arrogant ex-boyfriend, Fu Tingzhou, who had made fun of her for leaving his company. He had accused her of being too emotional and offered her a job back, which she furiously turned down, calling him shameless. But her ex was stunned into silence when a man introduced himself as Qin Chuzhe, the president of the rival Shaz Group, and more importantly, her new boyfriend. Tingzhou sneered, accusing her of using a powerful man to get ahead. He boasted that his company would win the exhibition's top prize anyway, thanks to his brilliant new planning director, an overseas graduate named Wang Ye, whose proposal was way better. He was so confident that he told Zhixia she was about to be publicly humiliated. Before the presentations could even begin, her old colleagues warned her that Won Yu was an arrogant tyrant who didn't do any real work. Seeing her chance, Zhixia immediately offered them jobs at her new company, and they eagerly accepted. As the event started, Zhixia was nervous, but her new boyfriend reassured her, saying he believed in her talent. But then the host made a shocking announcement. The review committee had discovered a case of plagiarism between two of the final proposals. The room erupted in anger, demanding the cheater be exposed and blacklisted from the industry. To ensure fairness, the host showed both project proposals on the main screen. They were identical. One was submitted by Fu Tingzhou's company, the other by Zhixia. In an instant, the entire room turned against her. Since Fu King Group was the bigger company, everyone assumed she was the thief. The crowd started shouting for her to get out. Her ex-boyfriend stood over her, accusing her of stealing his employees' work. It was then that the host delivered the final devastating blow. After checking the document timestamps, the committee had found that his employee's draft was created and submitted earlier than Zhixia's. She stood up and announced to the entire room that the winning proposal was originally hers, an unfinished draft. She had been forced to leave behind when she quit his company.